Good afternoon. This is Simon Reid here, head at Christ Hospital, and this is a message to all our old blues wherever they are around the world. In leading the school's response through the difficulties which have been thrown up by COVID-19, I have to say I'm thinking of all old blues and their families all over the globe. I hope that this message finds you, and I hope that it finds you in good spirits. Needless to say, I'm really proud of the stories I hear of old blues who are involved in a particularly direct response to COVID-19. I think of frontline workers like nurses, doctors, ambulance drivers, and those involved in intensive care units. All those who are involved in frontline health and care needs. Anyone engaged, in fact, in efforts to help the vulnerable in our communities should be praised to the hills. Now, CH today is strange. It's a very strange time. We partially closed the school on the 12th of March and concentrated our efforts on keeping the school open for our Grecians and the great Erasmus pupils. However, we had to follow government guidelines at the end of the next week and closed the school entirely on the 19th of March. It may surprise some, but I and the teachers here and support staff, we miss the pupils terribly. There was a particularly notable moment at the end of the day of the 19th of March when, with only the GE and the Grecians here, we held what we could of a last march, and we got together as many of the band as possible. Those who know anything about this, and it can be seen on our Facebook or Twitter pages, will know that it is one of the most extraordinary events in Christ Hospital's history. However, it's not all doom and gloom here. There are some good stories, like the one about the band. Since the conclusion to term, pupils and staff have risen to the challenge of giving and receiving their lessons remotely using Microsoft Teams. Perhaps more directly and more recently, the Design and Technology Department has been at an even sharper end of supporting the national effort to manage the virus. Having designed its very own version of a medical visor, it has made enough of them now to provide medical centres, care homes and chemists across southern England. In fact, several places beyond that. The school's Facebook page devoted to this initiative has received 27,000 hits in the last week. This is a great story of initiative, resourcefulness, and community interest. It is likely that you will have been particularly keen to know how the school has continued to support some of our most vulnerable pupils. And let me tell you that they have been very far from being lost to our memories. We have maintained regular contact with them and their families. The CH welfare team, which is tasked ordinarily with keeping contact with such families, has continued to meet on a weekly basis. Individual therapy sessions given by our counselling department have continued by telephone, and there are regular check-ins for that. Our engagement with social workers to support pupils is still very much in place. None of that has changed. And where there is very considerable need in terms of family hardship, we have and will continue to step in to help. Now, the summer term starts on Monday, the 20th of April. And as such, we start a more sophisticated and direct form of remote teaching and learning, which centres on the audiovisual capabilities of Microsoft Teams. I mentioned that a moment ago. This will continue to be our operational base until at least half term. We have reduced fees significantly for the summer term, and we have frozen the fees for the coming academic year at this year's levels. I should mention to you that having made this fee decision, it's been wonderful to note the number of parents who have decided to pay the full fee anyway, so that they can support others at the school who are in a less strong position. Of course, I'm really grateful to them for that. We have also drawn our current parents' attention to the provision of a hardship fund. It is vital, and this is a really important message, that no parent feels that they need to withdraw their child without understanding the school's careful and sensitive management of fee payments at this testing time. We are also conscious that remote learning can bring pressures to families as far as technical and mechanical equipment, computer equipment is concerned. Teachers and house parents have been asked to identify any of the emerging concerns, and we will try and do what we can to support such situations. It could be that you feel that I present too rosy a picture of what's going on here, and I'm going to say something fairly strong here. I cannot shy away from saying that this is a particularly challenging time for Christ's Hospital. Specifically, the endowment has suffered significantly, and there are other sources of income which have been really threatened. We are having to adapt how we work so that we can support pupils in the best way possible. But I know that this is exactly the time when CH is most needed for our current pupils, for the thousands of families and young children who are facing devastation through illness, loss of jobs, and great insecurity. As it did with its foundation in 1552, at a time of pretty close to unbearable poverty, Christ's Hospital needs to stand probably above others, but at least stand tall and drive its mission to support those who most need it. I do hope that all those who believe in Christ's Hospital's vital work will consider lending their support now so that we can navigate this challenging period and transform the lives, continue to transform the lives of all those children who need CH. The core message from me at the moment to everyone, to staff, to pupils, to parents, to our guardians and donation governors, it's a simple one. We need to do the best we can in the circumstances. There's no more or less in this, just the best we can. It is one of the finest messages for our young at any point in life, to be honest, and it is a very poignant one at the moment. Thank you.